Hello, guys, and welcome to Odds on Bundesliga Matchday 7. This is a live video, so ask any question to our sports betting specialist in Germany, Radek Vegas. How are you?
Hey, hi guys. Nice to meet you personally in this live video, having a good look into the next Bundesliga game day, and I hope we find some value bets this game day.
We are recording this on Wednesday, but it's been a successful Champions League match day for German teams. So, guys, remember to press the like, subscribe, comment the video with us. And now let's go on with the show. And the first game, Radek, on Friday, we have Mainz, Hertha, and we have 1.7 odds for Mainz. Very favorite, hosting Hertha, even if they lost 4-1 in the previous match day, despite having no victories at home yet this season. Whereas for Hertha, 5 points after the draw against Leverkusen. I guess you don't like these odds for Mainz, right?
Yes, like always, if the favorite has odds beyond 2.0, I don't like it because Mainz is not the clear favorite here. As you mentioned, they lost against Hoffenheim 4-1. And on the other hand, Hertha seems to be getting better in the last two games. They made 4 points. They were close to win against Bayer Leverkusen. They were leading 2-1 long till the end, and then Leverkusen scored the 2-2, I think, by a penalty even, and they were lucky. So Hertha is getting better. Mainz is, not really the favorite in my eyes in this game. That's why the odds on Mainz are too low. Betting on Hertha is an option if you like to bet on double chance Hertha maybe. But my preferred bet, you might guess, is a draw here. And I would say a draw with odds of 4.2, like we've seen here, or depends where you bet. You can compare. Odds over 4 for a draw or even 4.3 are amazing in games where you really don't have a clear favorite. So yeah, I like to bet on this, and I only would risk one fourth of a unit, 25% of my regular bet. If my regular bet is €100, I only bet €25 on this draw here. Or if your bet is €10, you can only bet €2.50 on this draw bet. The advantage of this is you won't lose much money if it's not a draw, and you win 1 unit if you're right. So where can you win this much money with that low risk, and not on a Mainz bet for sure?
Okay, we are seeing the head-to-head, and last season was a 4-0 for Mainz, but we have to remember that they played twice at home this season. No goals scored yet, 3 goals conceded, no goals scored as well, so only 1 point for Mainz playing at home. Draw is the first tip for Radek. On Friday, then we go on Saturday. We have 5 games, starting with Augsburg, Bayern Munich. Nagelsmann got an important victory in the Champions League, 2-0 against Barcelona. They suffered in the first half, but in 5 minutes, there you go. You have the quality. So now it's time, Radek, also to get a victory for Bayern in the Bundesliga after 3 consecutive draws. But I guess you remember what happened last season in Augsburg.
Yes, what often happens in Augsburg, that Bayern delivers some points to their neighbor. And after 3 consecutive draws, as you mentioned, they beat Barcelona. What do we know now? That Barcelona is weaker than, for especially Union
Stuttgart.
Berlin or Gladbach or even Stuttgart. And everyone knows that because I think you are a Real Madrid fan. You don't like Barcelona too much. So Oliver Kahn was smiling before Bayern was, when Bayern was drawn to the Barcelona group, as he knows Bayern Munich is always dominating Barcelona. And I think it was impressive in the second half when Bayern had about 5 to 10 really awesome minutes, scoring 2 goals. And I felt the Barcelona was so afraid of Bayern Munich, and the players had no confidence anymore, and Bayern Munich was playing perfectly. So, but this is a different thing, and now they're playing in the Bundesliga again. No motivation against a weak team like Augsburg. What shall we do here? The only thing is betting on Bayern Munich win, but odds of 1.2 are too dangerous, as Bayern had 3 draws in a row. But to be honest, they won't draw a 4th time in a row. But I also thought that they won't draw a 3rd time in a row against Stuttgart. So never bet on these weak odds, but never bet against Bayern Munich. That's what I say.
Difficult always to find good odds for Bayern, as we were seeing last season. Augsburg 1-1 against Bayern Munich. Let's try to find better odds in the next game. Bayer Leverkusen, Werder Bremen, another success for German football in the Champions League. Leverkusen beating Atlético de Madrid when they are penultimate in the standings in the Bundesliga. Very bad season so far for Leverkusen. They got a draw, as you mentioned before, against Hertha in the last match day, and now they are facing Werder Bremen. Radek, there was someone criticizing you for not believing on Werder Bremen playing against Augsburg in the previous match day. And then Augsburg beat Werder Bremen, because we don't have to forget that they are a newly promoted team and they were overperforming in the first match days.
Yes, and that's why I think we have good odds on Leverkusen here. And Leverkusen proved that they are still a good team. They didn't collect as many points as they deserved, because in some games, especially 2 game days ago against Freiburg, they were really the better team, but they lost. And I think maybe it was very important for them to make a point against Hertha, where they were behind, and they managed to make 1 point. And then they won against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, a thing I didn't expect, and I think very less people expect Leverkusen to win against Atletico after the horrible start of Leverkusen. And maybe now they have more confidence, they are stronger now, and they are the favorite against Werder Bremen. They have to win. Just have a look. I think maybe 𝐜𝐿𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐿, a difficult name for Germans, who came from Chelsea, is a big improvement for their striking quad, and that's why I think they will be better against Bremen, and the odds are really good, and I think Leverkusen will win this game. And what I like here is if the odds on a favorite are really low, and in this case they are not really low, they are good, but I really like to play first half time bets, as we get higher odds. In this case, if Leverkusen wins the first half time, we get odds of 2.26 here at DaFabet, or what it is, DaFabet.
1xBet.
You can compare the odds for sure. They will change. They are going down already, so it's a sign that after the victory against Atletico, the bookies also think that Leverkusen will be stronger against Bremen, will have a good start in the game, will score in the first halftime, and will win the first halftime. And the additional good thing of this is you only have to watch 45 minutes, and you can win the bet after 45 minutes. I really like it.
Perhaps we can watch also the second half of the next game, because it's an interesting one. We have a derby in the Ruhr, Borussia Dortmund, Schalke, after 1 year without seeing this very hot derby in Germany. They are back, and with contrast feelings, I would say, because Schalke got the first victory of the season against Bochum, the worst team in the Bundesliga, whereas Dortmund got the second defeat of the season, and was a harsh defeat, 3-0 against Leipzig. This is an example now of low odds for the favorite, 1.4 for Dortmund.
Yeah, and especially after their loss against Leipzig, which was really bad, because I thought Dortmund has to make a statement here and prove that they are the second best team in Germany, and Leipzig had a very bad start in the Bundesliga, so Dortmund should have won this game, but they didn't, because of it's a problem of Dortmund for years now, that in important games that they are weak in their head and they lose games where they're not allowed to lose, and that's why the odds on Dortmund are really bad. And but I still think they will win against Schalke, because it's a derby, and everything else than a win is no option for them. But same thing here as I said against in the Leverkusen game. If the odds on Dortmund are that bad, we have to look what's in the first halftime, and I still think that Dortmund is able to win this first halftime against Schalke, and the odds are better there with 1.8. So this would be my favorite bet. And as incur says, Dortmund killed him last week. I think they killed a lot of people because the odds were great on Dortmund. And as I said, Dortmund had to win, but they didn't. So, yeah, let's hope they will win the first half now.
𝐿𝐴 is saying Borussia to win 2-0, and we were checking before the head-to-head between these two teams, and the last two games in the Signal Iduna Park were 4-0 for Dortmund. So the Dortmund to win 2-0 could be also another option. Mili is going for both teams to score, but here you need Schalke to score, and this might not be that easy, especially because Schalke away scored already 2 goals this season. Next game, Stuttgart, Eintracht Frankfurt, and I forgot talking about the good Tuesday of German football in the Champions League, about Frankfurt, who got a massive win in the Velodrome against Olympique Marseille. Also, few people had hopes in the champion of the Europa League, but in the Bundesliga is another stuff. They lost 0-1 against Wolfsburg. Now they are the underdog, surprisingly, against Stuttgart. Despite the draw against Bayern, Radek, we have to remember that Stuttgart, they haven't won yet this season, 5 draws.
Yes, and that's why I don't understand why Stuttgart should be the favorite here. The odds on Stuttgart are way too low. I even would be surprised if the odds are changed and Frankfurt has 2.5. I would still consider 2.5 for Frankfurt too low or too high, too bad. And I think Frankfurt is the clear favorite in this game after beating Olympique Marseille, and they have to make better games in the Bundesliga. And against Stuttgart, I would say they shouldn't lose this game, and losing is forbidden for Frankfurt, and that's why I really love these odds, and that's why I would bet on Frankfurt Asian handicap 0. That means if there's a draw, we get our money back, and the odds on Asian handicap 0 on Frankfurt are really, really good, 2.09. And I would say this is, a no-brainer, as Frankfurt is the clear better squad, the clear better team. But anyway, it's a kind of day situation, as Stuttgart was able to make a point against Bayern Munich, and on the other hand, they only lost 1 game, so they didn't win a game, but they had 5 draws. So it's hard to beat Stuttgart, that's for sure. And that's why we have to insure against a draw with the Asian handicap 0 bet here.
Only 1 defeat against Freiburg this season for Stuttgart. Mil is going for Asian handicap 0 as well for Frankfurt. Let's see if, like last season, Frankfurt was very good in Europe, and then coming to the Bundesliga, so many disappointments, but the odds are good for Frankfurt, the last game on Saturday, is a very good one. Gladbach, Leipzig, we didn't take in consideration that Leipzig changed the manager. Again, Tedesco out, Marco Rose, I think you like a lot, Radek, you will tell me in a bit. Marco Rose, and the first game was a victory against Dortmund. They have to go to the Bernabeu in the Champions League, and also is difficult game away, this one against Gladbach, especially Radek, because the main problem for Leipzig is the away form. It was a problem last season, and they've started also very bad this season playing away from home.
Yeah, they don't like it. And Rose has such a hard start for him. He was playing against Dortmund, his former club. Now he has to face the Champions League winner, Real Madrid. And then he has to go to his other former club, Gladbach, where he was coached before he was coaching Dortmund. So, yeah, very interesting weeks for Marco Rose in his first days at Leipzig. And after winning against Dortmund, Leipzig seems to show their potential again, because the players are awesome and Rose seems to put the potential on the field, and that's why I think they won't lose against Gladbach here. And same thing here, the draw is an option, but I see value on the away side, and I would say Asian handicap 0 on Leipzig is my favorite bet. We get odds of 1.7 for this.
Okay, let's trust Leipzig. Talking about an Eastern Germany team like RB Leipzig to Union Berlin, another Eastern Germany team once upon a time. Union Berlin, the leader of the standings, playing against Wolfsburg. We have to remember that Union Berlin have a very tough game on Thursday in the Europa League against Sporting Braga, and in the Bundesliga they won the last game against Cologne. That's why they are now top of the standings, playing against Wolfsburg, a team that we know, Radek, that they have a lot of quality, as they showed against Frankfurt. 𝐿𝐿𝐴𝐷 has a good team, but they are not delivering yet.
Yes, and we have talked about the Wolfsburg situation a long time before, and I think they have great players, but I think the chemistry is not good, and my theory is that the players are just there because of the money, and yeah, that's known in Germany. That's why Wolfsburg is not very popular.
Money, no?
Yeah, and on the other hand, we have one team with the smallest budget and one of the teams with the least money, and they are leading now in the Bundesliga. What is really awesome, that's everything we love about football, that a team with less money is able to compete with other teams if they have a good day. And yeah, the problem is now that Union Berlin is leading, everyone is way more motivated against them, and they won't be underrated, as we've seen with Freiburg last week, as they were leading the standings, and they also were not able to win and keep the lead, as Bayern Munich, if they are number one, they always stay number one. So I think this can be a problem for Union Berlin, that now the pressure is too high. And also, as you mentioned, they have a double play or important play in the Europe League. That's why I won't be too confident about this 2.1 odds. But I like the Asian handicap 0 as well here, because Wolfsburg didn't show a lot of good games so far. So I hope Union Berlin will win. And if I had to bet, I would say Asian handicap 0 is the only option, maybe. But the odds are too low with 1.5. So this is only a tip, not a bet. You have to,
make a decision, of course, by yourself.
That's for sure.
CD is going for Union Berlin 2-0, winning without conceding a goal. And Corello, well, he's asking about Union Berlin as a title challenger, having Bayern Munich in the competition. I think this is an utopia, but rather what is for sure, and we are seeing in these first match days, it's going to be very interesting, the fight for the Champions League spots. It was very interesting last season, but with Dortmund, Leipzig, and Leverkusen in trouble, perhaps this season again we have other teams like Freiburg or Union Berlin. Why not going for the top four?
Yes, this would be a miracle, like Leicester won the championship in or the Premier League in England some years ago, 2016, I think, and there were odds of 5,000 to 1 before the season that Leicester is gonna make it to the champion, and this would be the same with Union Berlin if they would be champion and could challenge Bayern Munich. It's kind of like a miracle or a wonder or a fairy tale, kind of impossible to imagine, but it would be one of the biggest stories in football, and yeah, that would be brilliant, but I wouldn't bet on it. So
it's already
let's enjoy as long as they are number one.
Exactly. It's a great story already for Union Berlin. 3 years ago, they were not in the Bundesliga, and it's a small club. So, well, why not? Keep believing. Next game on Sunday, we have Bochum, Cologne, with kind of good odds, actually, for Cologne, 2.2, visiting the worst team in the Bundesliga, and also one of the worst teams in Europe, with only 0 points. Only Cádiz, actually, in the Spanish Primera División have also 0 points. No victories, no draws. And for Cologne, Radek, they had a very tough calendar when they are playing away, and they were able to draw against Leipzig, to draw against Frankfurt, and to beat Wolfsburg. So why not backing them to beat Bochum?
Yeah, should be obvious, and I don't see anything speaks against Cologne in this game. And the only thing is that they are playing in an international game, and that the Bundesliga is kind of unpredictable, and that Cologne has this kind of high odds leads to be aware of a draw, because the bookies kind of expect a draw in this game. And in this case, I would say, yeah, we only should bet on Asian handicap 0 on Cologne. The odds for this are still okay with 1.6 around, but I can understand everyone who says Cologne has all points on their side to win this game, and they should, but we shouldn't forget that they are kind of underdog in every game. And on the other hand, Bochum was really good last season, and they will make points someday also again. So
is the new Greuther Firth of this season, collecting 0 points so far. And the last game is a good one. Hoffenheim, Freiburg, two of the biggest surprises in this start of the Bundesliga. Freiburg second, Hoffenheim fourth, and they are the favorites, really favorites, actually. 2.2, Hoffenheim to win this game. They beat Mainz 4-1 in the last game. 3 victories already at home in 3 games. Bochum, Augsburg, and Mainz. Perhaps this is why they have these low odds. But Freiburg, you always say, same as Hoffenheim, no? That we shouldn't overestimate them. But they are very competitive. They've only lost 1 game so far, Radek, this season.
Yes, and they've been the leader of the standings last game day. Now they are second, and they, till now, as last season, are the biggest surprise together with Union Berlin. And so, yeah, it's hard that Freiburg is not winning this game, I think, and Hoffenheim is too good at home. That's the problem. I can understand CD betting on over 3 goals here, because as we've seen the last games of both. We had a lot of goals, and Freiburg was also scoring a lot of goals beside the last game against Gladbach, which obviously was a 0-0. And on the other hand, Hoffenheim also scores a lot of goals. So over 3 goal bet is for sure better than betting or expecting under goals in this game. But I think everyone, should be kind of, aware of a draw in this game. And as I said before, if there's a draw with odds over 4, and then this would be my favorite bet, as I don't think Hoffenheim is the clear favorite here. Freiburg is on a good day able to win. Hoffenheim is on a good day able to win, but in a normal situation, we don't know what's happening in this game. And if you don't know what's happening, you have 2 options: not betting or betting on the highest odds. And the highest odds are draws, and we get odds of 4 even if you compare the odds.
Okay.
And betting on both teams to score and over 2.5 is kind of an 𝐿𝐿𝐴𝐶A. You combine 2 or 3 events here, which is only recommended if the odds are really high. And I doubt that these odds are higher than 4.0 like we get in a draw here. So at the end, it's a thing of math and stats and probability.
And we have Millie trusting Freiburg in this case. Freiburg to win, odds 3.2. They are the underdog for this game. Well, this is it. We have the 9 games. We have international break the following week, Radek. So let's try your safe bet in case we want to be cautious.
Yes, and maybe if you paid attention close enough, I'm really into Frankfurt on this game day, and I would place a single bet on Frankfurt Asian handicap 0 with odds of 2.09. But if you ask me for really a bet, you almost never lose. It's always possible to lose. But my favorite bet on this game day is double chance on Frankfurt, because I think after their win in the Champions League, they should be able at least to make 1 point against Stuttgart, and with 1.6 we win this bet. And so let's hope Frankfurt is not losing.
Let's hope for Frankfurt to get points. And your ACCA for this match day?
Yeah, I would for sure combine these odds of Frankfurt with another double chance on Leipzig on this game day, playing at Gladbach and not losing, because Marco Rose is playing against his former club Gladbach, and he should not lose this game against Gladbach. And double chance on Leipzig has odds of 1.45. And the almost same thing is that Union Berlin at home should not lose against Wolfsburg. Here we got odds of 1.4 or 1.5 around if they have Asian handicap 0. And at the end, if Frankfurt, Leipzig, and Union Berlin are not losing, we get odds of 3.3 around in this 𝐿𝐴𝐶A. And I'm confident that we get back to the success track in this game day.
Let's try it. Remember, if you have an Asian handicap 0 or a draw no bet in an ACCA, if there is a draw, this game is out of your ACCA and you can still win it with lower odds, of course. Radek, this is it. Thank you very much. Danke. And thanks everyone also for following us. Remember to comment the video, to comment the Bundesliga, and like our channel and subscribe, of course. Radek, see you. Bye-bye.
De nada.
De nada.
Thanks for watching.
Bitte
Bye.
schön.